consider the events that need to be handled for this city and ask your guidance in everything that we do. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Could we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Davis, Graham,
Here.
Candia,
Here.
Day,
Here.
and Mayor Martina.
Present. Next item, conflict of interest. Anyone tonight? There being none. Now we get into the good stuff. Ceremonial matters. Tonight, our chief is going to pin Officer Richard Watts. And Officer Richard Watts, I guess we'll do it over there. And the chief will, he's not going to pin you, but.
Evening, Mayor, council members. I'd like to introduce, most of you probably know Richard, we call him Eric Watts. He joined our department in 2011 as a reserve officer. Prior to that, and during that time, he was also a firefighter and worked for EMS. So he really can't figure out what he wants to do in public safety, but we think we found a home now. So hopefully we'll have him for the long term. He started in 2000 as an EMT. He went on to work his way up through West Side Ambulance and was the chief there prior to stepping down. And then he was working at Riggs, where apparently he saved a man from a burning vehicle and won a Star Care Award. The vehicle was fully engulfed and he pulled the man out. And he likes to say that the man was 250 pounds and how strong he is, but I didn't see how relevant that was. But. So we're very pleased to have Eric on. He went through the academy and he graduated in December, and we picked him up full-time in December. And he's not really an addition to the family because he's been in the family for a long time, but it's great to have him here full-time, and we're very proud of him, very proud of his work in the academy. So we'll be doing his oath of office, and then his daughter Colby and his girlfriend Teresa are here. His daughter Colby will be doing the badge pinning, and we'll have him walk back around for that. So here's the part where you get to mess up. All right, you ready? I didn't tell you to raise your right hand. Raise your right hand. I state your name, do solemnly swear
I, Richard Eric Watts, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
and I will bear true faith and allegiance
And I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California.
that I take this obligation freely
That I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental, let's do that again.
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
Thank you. Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
and that I will well and faithfully
That I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
discharge duties in which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations. There's one more thing that I have to present to you. Apparently this was overnighted. This is new. So congratulations on behalf of Anthony Canella from the Senate. Sent this on behalf of the California State Senate. I would like to honor you for being hired as a Newman police officer. This great honor bestowed upon you, and you are to be commended for your commitment and devotion to the safety and well-being of the citizens of Newman. Congratulations and best wishes with your future endeavors. Presented on the January 12th, 2016 by Senator Anthony Canella. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
I want you to step on down and have Colby do your badge.
Don't stick him, honey.
Mayor, we do have refreshments for after the meeting. I know that's the important part.
Absolutely.
There's some punch and cookies back there for you.
Anyway, congratulations, Officer Watt. The city's proud to have you aboard. Okay, with that, next item will be items from the public. If anyone has any items they'd like to speak to the council, this would be the time. Being none, we'll move on to item 8, which is consent calendar. Waive all readings of ordinance and resolution except by title. A. B. Approval of warrants. C. Approval of minutes of December 8, 2015 meeting. D. Adopt resolution number 2016, next number, a resolution authorizing participation in joint application for FEMA Assistance to Firefighters Grant for purchase of self-contained breathing apparatus. E. Adopt resolution number 2016 accepting the water and sewer SCADA system improvement project as complete and authorizing Robert Martina as mayor and Mike Myers as city clerk to record a notice of completion.
I'll make a motion, we approve the consent calendar as is.
I second.
Motion's been made and second.
Aye.
All those
Aye.
in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carried 4 with 1 absent. Moving on to item 9, public hearing. We have none tonight. Item 10, regular business. A, report on marijuana ordinance. I, adopt resolution number 2016, next number, a resolution reaffirming and confirming the Newman City Code, zoning code is adopted and operates under the principles of permissive zoning. Part 2, first reading and introduction of ordinance number 2016, next number, an ordinance of the City of Newman amending Title III Business Regulations and 8 Health and Sanitation, Section 3.01, Revenue License, and 807 Medical Marijuana Dispensaries of the Newman Municipal Code.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Before you is the proposed marijuana ordinance. Tonight's item consists of a resolution and first reading of the proposed ordinance that would completely ban the commercial sale, transportation, distribution, and cultivation of marijuana, including medical marijuana, within the Newman city limits. The Federal Controlled Substances Act classifies marijuana as a Schedule I drug with a high potential for abuse. In 1996, California voters passed Proposition 215, known as the Compassionate Use Act, that enables seriously ill persons with physician consent access to medical marijuana. Later in 2003, the medical marijuana program was enacted to clarify the Compassionate Use Act. That program allows cities to adopt and enforce local regulations consistent with that program. The city's had a medical marijuana dispensary ordinance on the books since 2008. That ordinance was adopted to protect public health and safety. Dispensaries can lead to increased crime and violence, including illegal resale, increased violence, robberies, etc. The same can be said for the residential cultivation of marijuana. On October 9th, 2015, AB 266, AB 243, and SB 643, known as the Medical Marijuana Regulation and Safety Act, or MMRSA, was signed into law. That act sets up a state licensing scheme for the commercial medical marijuana. The act also protects local control by requiring all such businesses to have a local license or permit. Additionally, the act allows cities and counties to completely prohibit commercial medical marijuana activities, including cultivation. The caveat is that the prohibition needs to be enacted by March 1st of this year. In order for Newman to do so, we would have to have our first reading tonight, second reading the next meeting, to allow for it to be officially on the books by the March deadline. In 2013, local land use was further upheld in City of Riverside versus the Inland Empire Patients Health and Wellness Center, where local governments were expressly allowed to prohibit marijuana cultivation for any purpose. Since Prop 215, there has been an increased number of complaints regarding marijuana grows, including those folks with a valid marijuana card. Other related incidents in the region include shootings and attempted robberies, and even a homicide as close as Turlock. These incidents endanger the community as a whole, including schools, children, and public areas such as parks. In addition to safety implications, grows can also be considered a nuisance due to the odor that they put out and just the visible nuisance of a marijuana grow in a residential neighborhood. The purpose of this report is to give the council the opportunity to consider a complete ban on the commercial sale, transport, distribution, and cultivation of marijuana, including medical marijuana, within the city limits. The proposed amendments would be to Titles 3 and 8 of the Municipal Code, and the exact language is in Exhibit B, which is the draft ordinance. Furthermore, Resolution 2016 next in number reaffirms the city's permissive zoning structure, which reiterates the city's right to ban such activities in the city limits. Therefore, staff recommends that the City Council adopt Resolution 2016 next in number, conduct the first reading, and introduce Ordinance 2016 next in number as well. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Stephanie? If not, I bring it back to the council for direction.
I think it's a good ordinance to have in place. Dealing with that in Modesto, we've had multiple home invasions where they've taken over the wrong house. It's just that there's a huge problem with it. So just even growing it in town for medical reasons, it shouldn't be here. So.
In the ordinance, I noticed in the Exhibit B, under 8.07.020, Section E, it also states, in the event that there is future legislation or an initiative that authorizes recreational marijuana, cannabis, use and activities to the greatest extent prohibited by law and to the extent not already prohibited by this charter, the prohibitions contained herein related to medical cannabis marijuana shall apply to recreational marijuana cannabis. And I appreciate you incorporating that into the ordinance also.
The credit goes to our city attorney.
Pardon?
The credit goes to our city attorney. She worked very hard
Okay.
crafting.
I understand also that this is just an added thing for our police department to support control of marijuana usage in our city. So that's excellent. I appreciate that.
Thank you. And I'll defer to our chief to maybe talk about how this strengthens in the enforcement side of things.
As we have gone along, we've had with people with marijuana cards, and we get several complaints throughout the year. I mean, probably not as many as larger cities, but of people growing outdoor grows, indoor grows, where there's an odor of marijuana coming from the house. And realistically, if we go to the house and they can show us proper documentation, there is absolutely nothing we can do with it. And this gives us a little bit of a leg. It's not a criminal statute, but it gives us an abatement side to go ahead and remove the grow or have the homeowner remove the grow from the house. So it doesn't do so much for the police department as it does for the citizens, and we will be able to assist the citizens now when they have these type of complaints where, and many times we just had to walk away. And, citizens become upset about, us not, what they feel not doing their job, but when somebody has the correct documentation to have so many plants at their house, we have to, we have to follow it too. So
Okay.
we're happy with the ordinance from the police department standpoint.
Good.
And council, just as I was speaking with our new fire chief, in his previous position, they were probably finding one indoor grow a month and having fire issues with that as well. Is that right, Chief Owen?
Hey, firm. In my previous experience, I've seen the hazard of just electrical. A lot of times when they're doing these grow rooms, it's large lights, large fans, and obviously they typically bypass code just to keep that bill down. And then even though they may follow a permitting process, sometimes they fall short just because to meet that code, they have issues. So we've seen live wires in structure fires where we got guys pulling ceiling and they get a tingle in their hand. So yeah, it's on that side of it, it's a health and safety issue too.
Since 2011, we've had 2 structure fires relating from medical marijuana grows inside residents where they bypassed the electricity and started fires. So that's not far from home. That actually happens here too.
Wonderful. Thanks.
Sounds like we're all on the same page. Casey, that wasn't a motion, wasn't it? Or was it? Did you make a motion?
No, I didn't make a motion, but I can.
It's your choice.
I make a motion that we approve the first reading. This is, am I saying that correctly?
We need to
Well,
adopt the
it's
resolution.
Resolution too.
Right.
You can, if you want, just move both staff recommendations for approval.
Okay. I move that we, both these recommendations go for
I'll
staff.
second that.
Okay,
Staff
motion been
approval.
made, second. All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried 4-1. Thank you very much.
Mayor,
Yes,
it was 401, correct, with one absent? You said
Four-
you said 4-1.
4-0, I'm sorry.
Okay, I just wanted to make clarification for the record.
For the
Otherwise, our
record.
city
For
clerk
the
would get
record.
mad.
You mean you don't get a vote if you're not here? God. Okay, next item would be B. Report of memorandum of understanding with Stanislaus Business Alliance.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. As you know, it was sometime last year, the Stanislaus Business Alliance hired a new CEO, David White. He's kind of infused some new energy into the organization and set some pretty lofty goals for them. Their goal for 2015 was to help create 2,000 jobs in Stanislaus County. Actually, it was fell just short of 2,300 jobs for Stanislaus County. So that's a very good number, and a lot of those jobs are growing here in the west side because with our business park with our neighbor to the north. So I think that's good for our local residents as well. As part of that, though, they've also are updating the county economic development plan and marketing strategy, and they did that last year. This year, they're looking for additional support to start the implementation of that plan. They're requesting $7,500 under this memorandum of understanding. As we are getting nearer and closer to releasing an environmental impact report for our annexation proposal that we've talked about in the past, and potentially 2,000 jobs in that business park, more and more of these countywide efforts are going to start coming back to us in the city of Newman. So we're hoping this economic strategy and this marketing strategy will help bring some of those jobs to Newman. So with that, we're recommending that you approve the MOU with Stanislaus Business Alliance. There were a couple of typos in there in terms of a 2004, it said 2014, 2015, and a 2015 date in there. We'll make sure those get all cleaned up before we execute a final copy on that. I can answer any questions that you may have.
Michael, I had one on generation of 2,000 jobs, but that's for the whole Stanislaus County.
That's correct.
And do we get a breakdown? I mean, it's probably hard to say how many jobs we picked up during that period.
Because it's still fresh, I think they're still working out those details. So as soon as I get an updated number, I'll
But I think it's positive, isn't it? It wouldn't be negative.
Yeah, there's a net of 2,300 jobs that were created here. So I don't know how many are on the west side, but I hope to
Okay.
maybe bring that information to you in the future.
Thank you, Michael. Anyone else have a question?
No.
City manager? If not, I bring it back to council for direction.
Move we approve the memorandum of understanding between Stanislaus County Business Alliance and the City of Newman regarding the joint implementation of countywide economic development plan and marketing.
I second that.
Excuse me, marketing strategy.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 4-0 with one absent. Okay, moving on. Item from District 5, Stanislaus County Supervisor, Mr. Jim D. Martini. Jim, welcome tonight. We're moving right along for you.
Yeah, that's what I like about Newman. There's no nonsense here. I invite you all to come to Patterson City Council sometime and show you how they do it.
I can't stay up that late.
So, good evening, Mayor Martina, members of the council. I just have a couple of things tonight. Probably of interest to Newman. The South County Quarter Report is out now. There are 4 potential routes that they've sifted through. And this item will probably be coming for Stancog's decision in February. As I recall, I hadn't looked at it this week. I know that there's at least 2 routes through Patterson around Zacharias Road, catching Highway 5 on the north side of Patterson. All the routes use West Main most of the way. The other route takes to the south, Crow's Landing Road, and coming along and catching Fink Road over to Highway 5. So I haven't seen the costs on it yet. My thought is that the route into Patterson across Zacharias Road is probably going to be a lot more expensive because of the overpass has to be built and the creek, Del Porto Creek, has to be crossed. Stancog told me that it would probably be coming to the policy board in February. If it's typical Stancog fashion, it will be a month or 2 late. It'll probably be March or April, but the report is done, but there's still a lot of work yet to do on it. So watch for that in the future. Probably next month I'll give you a little bit better report on that to see where it's at. If we have some costs, the county is going to replace the bridge on Crow's Landing Road anyway, regardless of whether the route goes there or not, with a 4-lane bridge. So that will significantly cut down the cost of using Crow's Landing Road going over to Fink. And what I can see, there really is no improvements that are really needed at the Fink Road interchange. So it's basically a road widening down Crow's Landing Road and Fink Road. And widening, we have to go across the aqueduct too, so those will have to be made bigger. But next month I'll have you a few more details and maybe some costs. And the other item I have is just the task force meeting. It's coming up this Thursday, Gustine City Hall. We haven't had a meeting, since November, so we have quite a big agenda. We have a presentation from Behavioral Health Department, and we have our grant application that we've applied for, and we'll be discussing that. We have a lot of things this time. We haven't met in 2 months, but over the December time where we didn't meet, all the awards have been given out for the kids, and calendars and essays and all. So that went real well this year, so we're on to other things now this year. We hope to be adding a few more programs this year and things that we haven't done before. Anyway, that's all I have tonight.
I'd like to say I agree with you on your thought on the Fink Road. That's probably going to be the best solution for that corridor. Financially, it'll make sense because that bridge is being replaced on Crow's Landing either way. Anyway. You don't have to build over the aqueducts like you would in Patterson and build new overpasses and things like that, and it'll benefit both communities the best.
You know, that's my thought too, and I always thought that was the best route anyway. It's certainly the easiest one to build, and probably by far going to be the cheapest. But, we'll see. I mean, the 3 cities that really have the most to gain by this are going to be Newman, Patterson, and Turlock. And what this is a better, more direct route from Turlock to, actually, a Highway 99 to 5. So we'll see.
Yep.
The cost has really got to be considered on this, because really at this time there isn't any money to build it anyway. So the planning process, how road construction is, it goes on for years, and in environmental work, we just don't build things like we used to here anymore. We have to study it to death first, and the cost of this is I think really critical, that we have to pick the best and the cheapest way. And thanks for your comments. I'll give you a little better report next month, see if I can
Jim,
come
just
up with
one
some
comment.
numbers.
These projects make a big difference, and I know Crow's Landing in Maine, that project took forever for them to complete, but it really turned out nice. I don't know, I drive that road every day, so I know what I'm talking about. And
So
it just
which
took-
road was this?
The intersection.
The intersection.
Crow's Landing in West Main.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it made a
That
big
took-
difference. I mean, the traffic moves a lot faster, it's just, it made a lot of
The
sense.
intent was always to make, West Main more of an expressway. That project was 5 or 6 years in the works.
Yeah.
I can imagine a time we used to actually build roads in this county. Now, just improving an intersection takes years, and we just have a jobs program for the environmental engineers and consultants and attorneys. No offense to Mr. Hallidan, but they certainly are very good at slowing a project down. But West Main is really the best direct route from 99 to 5 anyway. It's just, the decision's going to have to be made once you get down the Crow's Landing Road. You want to go straight and build a new highway and go down Zacharias Road, or do you want to go to Crow's Landing Road and come out to Fink Road interchange? And so, I'll give you a little better report next
That one
month.
would be most beneficial for both cities, and including if anything ever happens with the airstrip out there.
For the development of the air base, if we ever get that thing off the ground there, that would actually be the best route for
Right.
us. But it could be coming to Stancog as soon as February.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next would be item 12, items from the city manager and staff.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the council. It's a great honor tonight to go ahead and welcome Chief Keith Bowen. He's Mel's replacement, Fire Division Chief. He'll be serving with us now. He's been a member of our fire department for a number of years now, and he stated it's always kind of been his goal to come in and accept a management position in the department, and he sailed through and was easily the #1 candidate, so it's we're glad to have him on board. So, also like to welcome Officer Eric Watts as well. You know, Eric's been on the west side for a number of years now, and we've had the privilege of working with him here in our department for a while, so it's nice to get him into the full-time fold. So, after those two, I just wanted to remind you, on Thursday night from 4 to 6, we're having an open house, and we're going to do that to celebrate the retirement of Mel Souza, Chief Mel Souza. 42 years he was with our fire department. So, 42, I don't know why he's retiring already. I mean, they don't make them like they used to. Huh? No.
Just remember that.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll have an open house here, and with light refreshments, some appetizers as well. So just come on in. It's basically an open house for people to just drop in and thank him, and but
It's open to the general public?
Open to the general public. We've been advertising it in the index as well as putting it on there, so it's open to everybody. On Monday, January 18th, will be closed. It's in honor of Martin Luther King Day. And then just, I know Supervisor brought up the South County corridor, and this is only phase 1, but the politicking is already starting, and even on the very lowest levels of staff, the politicking is already starting. So people that are going to support a Fink Road alignment are going to be challenged, because there's a lot of money in Patterson that's pushing the Zacharias one, and part of it is that the development community doesn't want to have to build it, and they want everybody to chip in and pay for that. It's going to be very expensive, because the Zacharias alignment requires a brand new interchange on Interstate 5, and I don't know, the last time you've been down there, there's definitely a huge grade differential that's going on there, and they've underestimated the cost estimate for building that thing, so they're trying again to, I think, just to politic its way through. So it's good to hear that our supervisor is supporting a southern alignment, and again, I think that bodes well for the county project at Crow's Landing. If that thing ever gains traction, that southern alignment would really help there as well. And if you think about it, we really don't have anything that ties into southbound I-5. So if you go to Zacharias, you're really only 10 miles away from 132, so what have you really created? Those are just my opinions. So with that, I can answer any questions that you may have on any of these items.
Any questions? No
Thank
questions?
you. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Now we'll go to staff.
I don't have anything tonight other than to congratulate Keith Bowen on the new position. We look forward to working with him in the future. I'll answer any questions you might have of the police department.
Just a few updates. Also welcoming Keith Bowen to staff. Welcome. Our housing element is progressing. We've already commented on administrative review. A public review copy will be released next week in the Planning Commission packet. Be going to Planning Commission this month. And if they recommend to council, it will subsequently go to council for approval and submittal to HCD. Also, the annual homeless count that happens every January has been scheduled for January 28th. Center for Human Services staff will be at Pioneer Park from 8 to 12. So we're going to try to coordinate with them and see if we can try to get an accurate count this year. So that's all I have. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions, sister? Lou?
W-2s for last year were mailed out, so you should have got those today, possibly tomorrow at the latest. If you don't have them by the end of the week, shoot me an email and I'll get a copy out to you. Other than that, treasurer's reports get postponed until next meeting, and then we'll have our mid-year budget the first meeting in February.
Thank you. Soon?
Good evening, City Mayor and council members. Just one item to update. Super El Nino. So we are expecting more rain this week and next week. So many residents are concerning some flooding. So it is why the Public Works Department keep providing the sandbags at the Corporation Yard, 712 Fresno Street. So if we find that any resident requires some more sandbag based on the address, we are ready to provide some more sandbag to protect their properties. That's a 712 Fresno Street. So we are ready for that. That's all I have.
Thank you. Keith, welcome tonight. You only have to talk for about a half an hour.
That's it. I can do it. I'm long-winded. Mayor, council, thank
really
you for.
Welcome. We're really pleased to have you aboard.
Thank you for the warm welcome. Currently just working on collaboration with all the agencies right now that we got dealing with and establishing an office. So again, thank you guys for having me. Any questions?
Okay. Items from the city council members? Casey?
I got a couple things. First, welcome Officer Watts and Chief Bowen. Congratulations to both of you. I appreciate both of your service. And thank you to the Public Works. I saw in the last rain, they were out there working pretty hard in the rain, clearing up areas that were clogged up and trying to get things draining, and it wasn't too bad, even though we had pretty good rain. So, thank you for the hard work.
That's it? Okay. Nick?
I'll just say, welcome, Officer Watts, to the family of Newman. Of course, you've already been here for a while, but officially welcome. And Chief Bowen, welcome aboard. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Great. Welcome to both of you again, from each of us here at the staff, or at the council. We appreciate your services to our community. And to go along with what Casey said about the Public Works activity, I appreciate the effort that's going forward. We might want to consider doing something about letting residents know that they need to leave some space along the curb line when they're putting limbs and leaves and that kind of thing into the street. That'll help resolve some of the leaf wash that's going down into the storm drains. So, but otherwise, the Public Works Department seems to be doing a great job on that.
Thank you. That's it? That's it. I also would like to congratulate Officer Watts and Keith, and it's fantastic. Both of you together do something that makes me happy. I can sleep better at night knowing you guys are working. So it's really important that the officers out there, the police, the fire chief is protecting our city. And I look for big things from both of you as the years go along. But anyway, thank you very much. And anyway, that's all I have. And with that, I ask for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion's been made. A second. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.